The next step is to fill in these empty spaces to be able to create the other portion. So I am going to give myself about 5 lengths. It's okay if it's a little extra, and I can always add more if I run out. I'm going to come over on the side, and so I have those 2 warp strings, and I know that I need to do 2 rows to fill in. So I'm going to do 1, but I'm also going to just tuck this back there so it's hidden away. But I'm not going to count that as one of mine, just so it's in there. So I have 1, and then 2. So that's going to be my 2 layers. Then I will come in, do 1 more. Didn't quite finish my 2. And then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to go all the way over to my next one. I'm going to fill those in, come back. And so what happens, it's kind of like leaving this little slot in between there. And that's okay because I am still crossing over more strings down here to kind of fill in those gaps. So we'll all work out in the end. I'm just kind of making sure that this is staying even along here, and then I will come back and push this up, and now I'll be able to come all the way over to this side. So over, back, and then 1 more. We'll leave right there for right now. So what I like to do is then leave this string for later, and then work on this side over here with another string, because sometimes it doesn't match up perfect down at the bottom. So then that gives me some options when I get back to that portion to be able to fill that in. So I'm going to go over on this side to start filling this little section here in. I am going to tuck this in, but I'm not going to count that as my 2 rows. I'm just going to have that little extra. So there's my 1, and then I'll come back and do my 2nd. Come back. So there's my 2 rows to match those 2, and then I'm going to come all the way in and do those 4 warp strings. And then, whoop, over, under, using that plain tabby weave. Not pulling too tight, but letting it just kind of bunch up right next to each other. I'm doing my 2 rows to fill that in. And then coming back. I'm going all the way across those 6. So again, kind of like Tetris, trying to fill in those gaps to create that tension. It's going to hold everything together later on. There's this one. So now what I can kind of try to figure out, can I go across with this one? I think I can, because it will be the opposite there. And then trying to decide, I think this string. The main thing is that I just don't want it to double up, so I'm going to tuck this one to the back, and I'll be able to come through and continue my pattern of over under and have it not doubling up on each other. So that one will just go up into there, and then I have filled in my shape, and I can just kind of wiggle things around a bit if I need to help it be a little more even. And that is how I create my shape.